From fashion to food to culture, Asia is at the center of it all.
Asia's here. Asia is here.
And this icon of design is all in.
When a lot of time when people say, Vivienne, it's not possible, I say, try it. It's possible.
But with the luxury sector under pressure,
We're suffering so much, financially. What we're going to do,
and the industry facing the challenge of reducing its carbon footprint, the designer, who's celebrating 30 years in the business, must now balance fashion's newfound sense of responsibility with the need and desire to thrive,
You have to change, you have to challenge yourself in order to become better.
while exploring a future where luxury and technology meet. Hong Kong is no stranger to a convergence of cultures where East and West intertwine, where old and new live side by side, and where thousands have found creative inspiration, including fashion designer Vivienne Tam. Did you live around here?
Yeah, we live around here. We grew up here. Every trip, have to spend a lot of time
All right,
here.
show me. For mainland China-born and Hong Kong-raised Vivienne Tam, inspiration is everywhere.
All the tassels, so many available colors that you can choose from. Look at the trims, lovely.
A stroll through a local fabric market, revealing the energy and spirit that flows from her backyard. Vivienne, this brings back memories, right,
Yes.
of your younger days.
Yeah, with my mom to come here to get all the leftover materials from the factories to make our Chinese New Year clothes.
And you still come back here because...
I still come back here because so much to discover, so much to choose from.
Passion has powered this designer through 30 years in business, though it hasn't always been easy. It's been quite a journey.
Yeah.
We know that the pandemic, for instance, hurt businesses, including yours. You've had to sell off some of the operations in China and shut your flagship in New York, for instance. How are you rebuilding the brand, the business?
Yeah, we're suffering so much, financially. What we're going to do, after COVID, it's a quiet moment to refresh yourself, to think about what is new, what you want to do. The e-commerce and the customer buying habit are very different. The space for me to think about my work and how I can engage customers.
From the catwalk to the consumer, Vivienne Tam's 30 years in business has built a loyal following she hopes will transcend generations. Vivienne, we're at your store. That's a lot of dragon, lots of phoenix, lace,
dragon.
a lot of Vivienne Tam in here. Who is the Vivienne Tam clientele?
Yeah, power women, like the dragon. Dragon women. They're lawyers, they're CEOs, they're accountants, they're all important, decision makers, women in the world.
Yeah. Why that pitch? Why do you position your products for this group of women?
When I started, designing, I always want to do something that is empower women. Yeah.
When you take a look at your store, there is something for everyone. Take a look at the t-shirt, for example.
My customer growing, 30 years already, so they become more powerful. I also want to grow my Gen Z audience too, they are in the 20s. So it's a more affordable price for them. They start learning my collection, learning about my brand. And then, my powerful women's daughter wearing it, their mom's dresses. After wearing it, they feel that feeling, then the power, the energy. So now they come back to the store and they buy more.
They'll soon have more to buy than high fashion. Tam has her sights set on cosmetics, home goods, and even a line of activewear. Could Vivienne Tam be a one-stop shop? Could you offer a lifestyle to,
I'm working on it a home, because I have a lot of other textures, really, really suitable for the home furniture. Actually, when I started my design work, I always looking at the furniture materials. Always find it, wow, how can I incorporate into the dresses, into jackets, and all that,
So is it still in the process of being launched, or are you planning to launch in 2025?
Yeah, 2025, 2025.
When you talk about luxury at this point in time, I mean, a lot of people say that it is a difficult market. Gucci, for instance, LVMH say that it is a difficult time. How do you look at luxury and selling luxury goods right now?
I think offering the customers a very timeless, ethical products, I think that's very important, and something very special they can wear all the time, because the buying habits are very different. They don't need that many clothes now. They feel good when they wear my collection. They feel very good and wearing tattoos now, yeah.
Tam also feels at peace in Hong Kong's Jade Market, a place where local artisans make handcrafted jewelry.
Vivienne, we're at the Jade Market, but it's not just about jade. Jade, very special store for the Chinese in particular, but it's not just about jade here, right?
Yeah, pearl, you have all sorts of stones, all sorts of gems, yeah. It's incredible, the colors. The colors you can choose from is so inspiring. Like, the way that they knotted it, with as a bracelets and a necklace, and then how I got inspiration by looking at all this, like how they with the knots, Chinese knots, and knotted it, like the tassels, and then all different.
It's very traditional, right?
Very traditional, and it's so beautiful. I particularly watching them how they knotted it so fast, like the way you look at the skill is incredible.
How are you looking at expansion, and how important is China to that plan?
I think, China is very, very important, and then I see that more and more about the Chinese customers are very much into the new ideas, exploring new concepts. Recently, I go to China very often because I want to learn more about the markets. It's very different than how I started before. They don't want anything Chinese. Now they're embracing the Chineseness from the government to the people, and I think that is really, really encouraging. There's a really amazing time for China at this moment, and especially customers, and they're very adapting the new world.
So China is a key market for you?
Yeah, and there's so much to learn.
Always learning and adapting.
Wow, that was really give me a new
perspective
and new creative space.
Coming up, Vivienne Tam post-pandemic, taking on Web 3.0 and beyond when Latitude returns. Bored apes, CryptoPunks, CyberKongs, NFTs or digital collectibles that at their height sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, now transformed into physical garments. Part of Vivienne Tam's COVID-era collection, bridging the virtual world with the real world.
There was that time, NFT is really popular, when NFT company came to me and said, Vivienne, you should do NFTs, and oh wow, NFT, I don't know anything about it. Let me look into it, And wow, I found the images of the NFTs are beautiful, and why don't I bring them to the physical world? And also for me, by doing all this tool collection, I get to know the Web3 community really well and understand their community, and then start learning more, and I think I keep on exploring the space. Wow, that was really give me a new perspective and new creative space. I'm thinking about going forward, even though it's a difficult time during COVID, but I found a way to really make myself very energetic, relevant, and then reaching out to like a new audience. And then it's a new way of marketing and expanding my business and my customer base.
From wearables to smart fabric, digital worlds, and even AI, technology has become interwoven with the world of fashion. And it's more than just a trend. It's now a necessity for the industry to keep up with developments.
Vivienne, you talked about technology, NFTs.
Yeah.
In fact, you've designed for the metaverse.
Yeah, yes, it's very exciting.
Why have you embraced technology? What potential do you see in it?
I think fashion cannot live without technology. My first time I did a technology product is the HP computer. It was like 2009. It's a women digital clutch. It's a beautiful peony flower. This is just a computer gadget, but when you beautify it, it becomes like a high fashion product, luxury product.
AI has penetrated pretty much all sectors, including music. AI can write music, compose music. How do you see technology shaping fashion? How do you see AI changing the landscape in fashion?
Yeah, AI definitely helped. When I did the jewelry, I used the AI, helping me to give some idea, but ultimately you still have to do a lot with it. To just give you very superficial ideas, and but at the end you still have to customize and how to really make it and do that. I do not think that AI and the technology can replace the human mind at this moment. Yeah.
Are you concerned one day we won't be able to differentiate designs by AI and designs by an actual designer?
I don't know. For me, I feel that when the designer is doing, it's the spirit, it's the heart that the computer don't have.
Come, you go first.
Yeah, this is my dragon. This is the 5-element dragon print.
Oh wow! But it's a unique approach to design that Vivienne Tam is embracing to tackle one of fashion's and the world's biggest challenges, global warming. The industry has been widely criticized for the business model known as fast fashion, apparel makers churning out new styles on short cycles at low prices, generating increased carbon emissions and a massive amount of clothing waste. What are your thoughts on fast fashion? It's been transformative. It gives the masses access to fashion, but there's a cost to it, downside to it.
My first notice is too much waste. I think it's also how I grow up, making your own clothes and making something that's well special and well unique. It's like timeless. And now you see that everybody is looking the same, like wear sweatshirts and wear t-shirts. And for me, it's just like when they wear something very special, they feel empowered.
Is there a need for fashion to be more mindful of the impact it's having socially, environmentally?
Definitely.
Is it happening enough?
I think it's happening. It's gradually happening. All the designers are doing, everybody is thinking about this subject at this moment, thinking how to be more sustainable, how to be more environmental friendly. We now, for sampling, we're just using a roll of fabric, but after cutting for production, we're going to just make these pieces, the size, exactly the size. And we don't really need to print that. So it's minimize the wastage. But I try to also use this for little bags. During the COVID, we make masks for that.
Do you think the fashion industry is doing enough, to ensure that it is sustainable? There's so many targets out there. Are they even realistic in wanting to achieve them?
I think some of them are just like they're using sustainable ideas as a marketing concept only. They're actually not really doing it. I think as a designer, it's really important. It's our responsibility to really make it happen, to spread it out.
In her latest collection, a wedding dress line, the designer is focused on upcycling.
It's so beautiful.
Reusing the intricate lace and embroidery from previously worn dresses, some used as many as 16 times before Tam and her team start to dismantle them.
You cannot believe it's worn like 16 times already. You see, because the way they place it is very traditional. That placement must be like 50 years ago, but now placed differently. Yeah. Give them a new life.
Yeah, amazing.
A new spirit.
It's that creative way of thinking that is now inspiring the next generation of designers.
Wow, that's so amazing.
When Latitude returns. Hong Kong is not the first place you'd think of as home to a fashion icon.
but it's the sights and sounds of the city
So amazing, Hong Kong. Look at all this.
that have inspired designer Vivienne Tam throughout her career. We're in this wonderful space where you put the finishing touch to your collection for the recent Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Your designs reflect your roots in China, in Hong Kong, mystical dragons, for instance. What's the motivation behind your designs?
My motivation is always about East and the West. I was born in China but grew up here. I'm the embodiment of Hong Kong culture. Hong Kong is the gateway to the West and also gateway to China. It's so exciting. I'm like so lucky to grow up here. You know, what I'm doing is a reflection of who I am. I love it.
The journey started 30 years ago, fresh out of university. You made your way to New York City.
At that time, I carry my 20 pieces from Hong Kong and then just go like cold-calling all the department stores. And they say, are you the manufacturer? No designers there, you know? When you hear that something like, there's no designers, are you a manufacturer? And I feel hurt at that moment, you know? But I constantly call it, if they can see my designs, they know there's designers. They're beautiful works from there.
It was an open call for designers at famed New York department store Henry Bendel, where Vivienne Tam first broke through.
Henry Bendel, 1 day per week, there is an opening day for all designers. So I carry my 20 pieces, I wear like big winter mouth jacket. Then I braided my hair. I want to be my own model, you know, wear the clothes I want. Like the buyer immediately can see my clothes or my designs. The moment when they saw my clothes, they say, wow, I have not seen something like that whole year, like that beautiful, you know, something very special for them. So I think, wow, this is so great. This gives me so much encouragement. Give me the first order. That's how I started.
From the windows of Henry Bendel to retail stores across Asia to designing for the stars, Tam has always kept true to her roots, using colors, designs, and images closely associated with the East.
I want to keep the dragon and then fade it out, fade it out, and then dark, and then ping pong, and then coming with the image.
Would you say that fashion has moved, perhaps moving towards the East?
I think every city have their own uniqueness. Yeah, now China finding its own uniqueness. Every country have their own voice. You know, the American style, you have the French style, you have Italian style, you have a British style, you have Japanese style. Now you can have a Chinese style, which is so beautiful about it, embracing their own culture. Sometimes it's very challenging to use culture as an inspiration to design something for modern women and modern lifestyle. But I find it so fascinating. I'm always like looking for like my new collection. How can I bridge? How can I tell the story from the beginning, the inspiration, to the end, the fashion show, and then to the consumers? My last collection is talking about cultural harmony. I want to bring the two worlds together. I'm the ambassador of the two worlds. And my products reflects that. Every collection is like a story to tell, and it's like a small journey, a small life journey.
Vivienne, you talk a lot about love.
Here.
This is love.
Yes, it's a love dress. The heart, you know, you see the Chinese writing love, and also amour, you know, French. This is like the love between the two countries. And also this lace here, and this is like really old, at least 100 years technique.
Why is it so important for you to always bring the old and try to update it?
When I see the old things, I have the urge to try it because it's so beautiful, but it's not for the modern world. And particularly when I bring the old culture and make it into new, and then people wearing it, and then the different generation looking at it, they say, wow, they cannot believe that is something derived from the old culture, from their culture, but making it new. It's opening their mind. I think that is something that I love to do, and it's always challenging myself. It's fulfilling too.
You talk about growing up in Hong Kong and how that has been a big part of your brand. Talk to us about your earliest memories in Hong Kong. I know you grew up in a modest flat.
Very small, less than 100 square feet.
What do you remember of the days in Hong Kong, the early days in Hong Kong?
I can talk about, you know, my design inspiration from my mother. I like watching her making her own clothes, and I started making my clothes when I was 8 years old, making clothes for my siblings, like for Chinese New Year, because we don't have money to buy new clothes. No, my mother would say, let's go to the free market to buy like scrap material, the leftover from the factory. So we make patchwork clothing. And then, and then my mother would say, how beautiful is this? Only one piece in the world. Most beautiful one. Nobody have it, Yeah, and then that's how I learned about individualities
and creativity.
Creativity, something was special. I remember that when I was young, head to toe, I make it myself. And when my schoolmate told me, oh, that was beautiful, I feel so much joy. It's like people wearing my clothes that when they told them about how beautiful they are, and I feel so much joy. And that is really a moment that I feel making beautiful things make people happy.
It's that joy Tam hopes the industry's next generation will feel as well, returning to her alma mater, Hong Kong Polytechnic, offering advice to the designers of tomorrow.
I know that a lot of time when we're a student, we always think about just about the concept and forgot about what we're going to wear, You have to think about commercial, how to really make it work, how think about the feel, the body, how it looks, whether it look good on the person. We have to make sure our designs can sell.
A lot of top designers
Yeah.
came from top design schools like Parsons, St. Martin's.
Yeah.
You came from Hong Kong Poly University.
Yeah, I'm so
Doesn't
proud
matter,
of
doesn't matter.
Polytechnic.
Is it a time for perhaps Asian institutions in the fashion space?
I think that it doesn't really matter which school. I think as long as that's who you are, being yourself, and work hard and do really what you love and have a meaning what you're doing.
You talk about being yourself. This is the time, but this is also the time of greater scrutiny. As an artist, as a designer, as a fashion person, how do you draw the line, between being creative and also not creating offense to the authorities? Is there a fine line?
Yeah, there's always a fine line. In the past, we don't really need to think too much about that. But nowadays is like a lot to think about, to not offending different, society. There's always something like that,
Doing what she's loved for the past 30 years and looking forward to the next. Years of Vivienne Tam. What will the next 30 years bring for Vivienne Tam?
I don't really think about 30 years, but I think that I'm just keep on learning about the world. The virtual world is so interesting already. Like 30 years ago, nothing like that. What is next 30 years? I really don't know. What is the new thing? Maybe Web 4, Web 5, Web 6.
As you look to the future, have you considered perhaps listing the company? Have you thought about succession? How are you looking at the future?
Yeah, that is the plan. Like working with the student, working with the new young designer, keep on collaborate with them, funding the circular economy, expanding it. I don't know what is it going to be. Most important, deliver a really beautiful products that people want.
You talked earlier about how nobody believed you would succeed.
Nobody.
Nobody believed in the potential of China Chic.
Yeah.
Now looking back, is there a sense of vindication?
Yeah, I feel like I cannot believe. I think that, true to what you believe, what you're doing, it leads you to something amazing. Just true to yourself and do what you really believe.